Speaking of juicy, last segment of the week of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, we got our extra juicy Dawgz of the week. This is where This is where we pick a quarterback, a running back, a receiver, and a tight end that you can feel comfortable putting in your starting lineup. You know, we might have some touchdown guarantees here. Going to be interesting to see. Sam, let's do this kind of quickly. I'm going to start here at the quarterback position. Going to the last game that we just talked about, Monday Night Football. I had a tough time picking a quarterback for this week. I was looking all around. I had a tough time. Ended up going with Deshaun Watson. I hate to talk about him. I hate to give him any smoke, any air. But damn it, Deshaun Watson's my extra juicy quarterback of the week. He played so he's going to Pittsburgh, Monday Night Football. He played in Pittsburgh in Week 17 last year. He had 230 yards and 2 touchdowns to the air and 6 for 44 on the ground. Those 44 yards rushing were his season high last year. Now, we saw him get 45 rushing yards last week against the Bengals. I'm predicting over 50 rushing yards for Deshaun Watson on Monday Night Football and a Browns W. Who's your extra juicy quarterback for Week 2, Sammy?
My extra juicy dog at the quarterback position is none other than Josh Allen. We talked about it with our game pick. It's going to be a big bounce back game for Josh Allen. Josh Allen's not scared of the Raiders. The Bills aren't scared of the Raiders. I'm not scared of the Raiders. They barely got out of Denver with a W. Russell Wilson looked semi-competent against the Raiders. The Bills are at home. They're not going to drop 2 in front of the home team. Josh Allen's going to have a big game.
I like it there, Sammy. Moving along to the extra juicy running back of the week for me. We're going to stay right there in Buffalo. I'm going James Cook versus these undefeated Raiders. The Bills are 9.5-point home favorites. Currently the heaviest favorite on the week. Josh Allen's going to calm the fuck down with whatever the hell he was doing Monday night. Hand it off to James Cook. Feed him plenty in the passing game. Damn it. I'm calling it right now on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Week 2, my buddy, Mr. Tutty for James Cook. James Cook's getting in the end zone versus the Queef Raiders. Bills are going to win. James Cook's going to score a touchdown.
I like that take, Matt. I got some James Cook in fantasy. I like it. I like it all the way around.
Who's your extra juicy running back for Week 2?
Very excited about this guy. We've talked a little bit about the Steelers and the Browns. I got Nick Chubb as my extra juicy dog in the running back position. Listen here, Matt. Christian McCaffrey, run CMC, was 22 for 152 and a touchdown. They demolished the Steelers. The Browns are riding high after that big divisional win over the Bengals. They smell blood in the water. And Steelers are some low-hanging fruit. Chubb was 18 for 106 against the Bengals. Alex Van Pelt, the OC for the Browns, former quarterback. He knows running backs, quarterback's best friend. And he's quoted as saying that their offense starts with the run game. So give me Nick Chubb all day long. And what is it you guys say? My buddy, Mr. Tutty. My buddy, Mr. Tutty, all day long. Nick Chubb falling in the end zone, maybe a couple times.
Wow. Big my buddy, Mr. Tutty guarantee there for Nick Chubb. You know, you said you're not trying to be like Max, but you definitely sounds like Max right there talking about the Chubster. Moving along, the extra juicy receiver of the week for me. I'm going to Detroit to take Amon-Ra St. Brown versus the Seattle Seahawks. The Lions are right now 5.5-point home favorites. We saw last week for the Los Angeles Rams, Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell, 2 guys we didn't know really much about a week ago. They tore up Seattle secondary. Oh my goodness, they tore the Seahawks apart. Amon-Ra is way better than those guys. He's a freaking stud. Damn it, he's going to snag another tutty. I got another guarantee here on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Amon-Ra St. Brown, my buddy, Mr. Tutty, in Week 2 versus Seattle. Damn it, Amon-Ra he was a keeper in our league. He's a freaking stud, Sam.
Wow. Another hot take, Matt. It's poetic that you're sitting outside with the bright sun of Colorado shining upon you. The bright sun of the sun god will be shining in Detroit as Amon-Ra spanks the Seattle Seahawks. I like it.
Who is your extra juicy receiver for Week 2?
I hate to do this to you. I know we kind of go back and forth with the AFC South, Colts, Titans stuff, but my extra juicy dog at the wide receiver position is none other than Keenan Allen of the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
Derek Carr was 23 for 33 for 305 and a touchdown against your Tennessee Titans. Olave had over 100 yards. Shaheed was close to 100 yards. Michael Thomas had over 60 yards. And look, Keenan Allen was targeted 9 times by Herbert. He's healthy. He's a clear number 1 option there in Los Angeles. There wasn't a lot of passing in the end zone in that game against the Dolphins, but I think the Chargers reevaluate. They're going to be a little bit more aggressive in the red zone with some passes. And I got another Mr. Tutty, my buddy. Keenan Allen is going to score a touchdown against your Tennessee Titans.
Wow. A few guarantees here today on the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast. Oh, my goodness. That's a good pick. The Titans secondary freaking blows. I can see Keenan Allen easily having a touchdown this week. It's going to be a tough game for my Titans. Lastly, my extra juicy tight end of the week. I'm going to my extra juiciest game of the week, the Chiefs and the Jaguars. We got an over-under of 51 points in this one. That's the highest for week 2. Tight end Evan Ingram of the Jags, okay? I wanted to get a share of this game for this segment. I didn't know where to go. I decided the tight end position with our guy Evan Ingram. He was tight end 5 last week with 5 for 49 on 5 targets. Didn't miss a catch. But I want to guarantee a touchdown here, Sam. But that feels a little greedy. So I'm not going to guarantee a touchdown, but he definitely can. It's going to be a juicy game in Jacksonville. I got Evan Ingram as my extra juicy tight end of the week.
A solid pick at a very tough fantasy position. So yeah, I like Evan Ingram. That's a good pick. For me, my extra juicy dog at the tight end position is Darren Waller. So again, kind of going back to this.
Wow. Tell Max to turn up his freaking headphones right now.
You hear that, Maxie? So theme of the bounce back. I think as a team, the Giants are going to get right down in Arizona. I don't know what the deal was. There was a lot of talk, a lot of hype of Darren Waller in the off season. I don't know if the Giants were trying to be hipsters and like not do what everyone else thinks you should do. Just throw Darren Waller the ball. I mean, he's your best target. He still had a 17% target share in that embarrassing loss against the Cowboys. I mean, they weren't in the red zone, so they didn't really have an opportunity. So we didn't get much of a pulse on what they want to do in the red zone. When you have when it's a must-win game and you need to get right, you go back to what you know. You go back to what you know will give you success, and that's throwing it to your number 1 target, a very, very good talent in Darren Waller. So I'm not going to guarantee a touchdown either. I'm going to stick with 2. I don't want to get greedy either. But yeah, he's going to bounce back this week. The Giants are going to bounce back, and I expect a good game from Darren Waller.
Darren Waller's been talked a lot about on this podcast, Sam. You know, I'm a believer in him. Only 3 catches last week, if I'm not mistaken. You know, that game was a shit show from the beginning with a defensive touchdown, a special teams touchdown. So you kind of got to throw that game out the window for the Giants. I like your pick, Darren Waller coming back here. Danny Dookie Dimes Jones getting his thing, getting his feet right, getting his arm right. But good pick there, Sam.